It's Dune. Alright, okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and get to. Just get to the fucking reading. Because I can't tell if anybody is listening or not. But hopefully they are. Alright, so I've got. What I'm going to do is I'm reading the first part of the book. Dune is split up into three parts. The first book is called Dune. The second part of Dune is called specifically Muad'Dib. The final part is called Prophet. So what I'm going to do today is just read the first part of Dune, which is Dune, deals with the beginning of the story. I've got some music playing in the background that should set the mood pretty good. So I'm going to launch into this and hope that people are actually watching. Dune by Frank Herbert, copyrighted 1965. Book 1. Dune. A beginning is a time for taking the most delicate care that the balance is correct. Every sister of the Bene Gesserit knows. To begin your study of the life of Muad'Dib, then, take care that you first place him in his time. Born in the 57th year of the Padishah Emperor Shaddam IV. And take the most special care that you locate Muad'Dib in his place, the planet Arrakis. Do not be deceived by the fact that he was born on Caladan and lived his first 15 years there. Arrakis, the planet known as Dune, is forever his place. From the Manual of Muad'Dib and by the Princess Aurelian. In the weeks before their departure to Arrakis, when all of the final scurrying about had reached a nearly unbearable frenzy, an old crone came to visit the mother of the boy, Paul. It was a warm night at Castle Caladan, and the ancient pile of stone that had served the Atreides family as home for 26 generations bore the cooled sweat feeling it acquired before a change in the weather. The old woman was led in by the side door down the vaulted passage by Paul's room, and she was allowed a moment to peer in at him where he lay in his bed. By the half-light of a dispenser lamp, dimmed and hanging near the door, the awakened boy could see a bulky female shape at his door, standing one step ahead of his mother. The old woman was a witch shadow, hair like matted spiderwebs, hooded round darkness of features, and eyes like glittering jewels. "Is he not small for his age, Jessica?" the old woman asked, her voice wheezed and twanged like an untuned balisette. Paul's mother answered in her soft contralto, "The Atreides are known to start late in their growth, your reverence." "So I've heard," wheezed the old woman. "Yet, he is already 15. "Yes, your reverence." "He is awake and listening to us," said the old woman. "Sly little rascal." She chuckled. "But royalty has need of slyness, and if he's already the Kwisatz Haderach, well." Within the shadows of his bed, Paul held his eyes open to mere slits, two bird-bright ovals. The eyes of the old woman seemed to expand and glow as they stared into his. "Sleep well, you sly little rascal," said the old woman. "Tomorrow you'll need all your faculties to meet my Gom Jabbar." And she was gone, pushing his mother out, closing the door with a solid thump. Paul lay awake, wondering, what is a Gom Jabbar? In all the upset during this time of change, the old woman was the strangest thing he had ever seen. Your reverence. and the way she called his mother Jessica like a common serving wench, instead of what she was, a Bene Gesserit lady, a duke's concubine and mother to the ducal heir. Is Agam Jabbar something of Arrakis I must know before we go there? He wondered. He mouthed her strange words, Gom Jabbar, Kwisatz Haderach. There are so many things to learn. Arrakis would be a place so different from Caladan, and Paul's mind whirled with the new knowledge. Arrakis, Dune, desert planet. Tufir Hawat, his father's master of assassins, had explained it. Their mortal enemies, the Harkonnens, had been on Arrakis 80 years, holding the planet in quasi-fief under a Chom Company contract to mine the geriatric spice melange. Now the Harkonnens were leaving to be replaced by the House of Atreides, in fief complete, an apparent victory for the Duke Leto. Yet, Hawat had said, this appearance contained the deadliest peril, for the Duke Leto was a popular man among the great houses of the Landsraad. A popular man arouses jealousy of the powerful, Hawat had said. Arrakis, Dune, desert planet. Paul fell asleep in the dream of an Arakeen cavern. Silent people all around him, moving in the dim light of glow globes. It was solemn there, like a cathedral, as he listened to a faint sound, the drip, drip, drip of water. Even while he remained in the dream, Paul knew he would remember it upon awakening. He always remembered the dreams that were predictions. The dream faded. Paul awoke to feel himself in the warmth of his bed, thinking. This world of Castle Caladan, without any play or companions his own age, perhaps did not deserve sadness and farewell. Dr. Yui, his teacher, had hinted that the Farfaluk caste system was not rigidly guarded on Arrakis. The planet sheltered people who lived at the desert's edge without Cade or Bashar to command them. Willow the Sand people, called Fremen, marked down in no census or of imperial regat. Arrakis, Dune, desert planet. Paul sensed his own tensions, decided to practice one of the mind-body lessons his mother had taught him. 3 quick breaths triggered the responses. He fell into the floating awareness, focusing the consciousness. Aortal dilation, avoiding the unfocused mechanicism of consciousness. To be conscious by choice. Blood enriched and swift flooding the overloaded regions. One does not obtain food, safety, freedom by instinct alone. Animal consciousness does not extend beyond the given moment, nor into the idea that its victims may become extinct. The animal destroys and does not produce. Animal pleasures remain close to sensation levels and avoid the perpetual. The human requires a background grid through which to see his universe. Focused consciousness, by choice, this forms your grid. Bodily integrity follows nerve blood flow according to the deepest awareness of bodily cell needs. All things, cells, and beings are impermanent. Strive for flow permanence within. Over and over within Paul's floating awareness, the lesson rolled. When dawn touched Paul's windowsill with yellow light, he sensed it through closed eyelids, opened them, hearing then the renewed bustle and hurry of the castle, seeing the familiar patterned beams of his bedroom ceiling. The hall door opened and his mother peered in, hair like shaded bronze held with a black ribbon at the crown, her oval face emotionless and green eyes staring solemnly. "You're awake. Did you sleep well?" Yes. He studied the tallness of her, saw a hint of tension in her shoulders as she chose clothing for him from the closet rack. Another might have missed the tension, but she had trained him in the Bene Gesserit way, in the minutiae of observation. She turned, holding a semi-formal jacket for him. It carried the red Atreides hawk crest above the breast pocket. "Hurry and dress," she said. "The Reverend Mother is waiting." "I dreamed of her once," Paul said. "Who is she?" She was my teacher at the Bene Gesserit school. Now she is the Emperor's truthsayer. And Paul, she hesitated, you must tell her about your dreams. I will. Is she the reason we got Arrakis? We did not get Arrakis. Jessica flicked dust from a pair of trousers and then hung them with the jacket on the dressing stand beside the bed. Don't keep the Reverend Mother waiting. Paul sat up, hugging his knees. What is a Gom Jabbar? Again, the training she had given him exposed her almost invisible hesitation, a nervous betrayal she felt as fear. Jessica crossed to the window and flung wide the draperies, stared across the rivered orchards towards Mount Searby. You'll learn about the Gom Jabbar soon enough, she said. He heard the fear in her voice as she moved out.